But don't look in your rearview mirror, here comes number 8. He's a rocker and a roller and he shows us how to shut him down. I guess he runs independent until my daddy's back in town. Yeah, I guess he runs independent until my daddy's back in town. Bad boy, stand on it, son.
And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that the first 5 of 6 Xfinity Series races at Martinsville was won by Sam Ard? So anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, a.k.a. Mike Fob Fan 101, with my good friends and co-hosts, Christian, a.k.a. And welcome to the Nasboys podcast. Now, did you know that the first 5 of 6 Xfinity Series races at Martinsville was won by Sam Ard? So anyways, guys, welcome to the Nasboys podcast. I'm your host, Mike, a.k.a. Mike Fob Fan 101, with my good friends and co-hosts, Christian, a.k.a. Savage NASCAR.
What's up, guys? Hope you're all having a great week.
And Cam, a.k.a. I Spy Cam.
Howdy, y'all.
So let's get down to talking about the weekend over in Kansas. We are going to start off with the Xfinity Series. What did you guys think?
I did not get to see the race at Kansas this weekend, but I heard the Xfinity race is better than the Cup race. I may be wrong, but from what I heard, that is what happened. And I picked Harrison Burton to win, but he did not get the W. There was that thing with Noah Gragson and the accident with Sam Mayer.
Be aggressive. That word aggressive, that's what Harrison has used when we've talked to him. He said, that's the one thing I haven't been doing this year is being as aggressive as I should be. And now he's through the middle of the contact. Harrison up into the wall hard. Burton into the wall, the 9 of Noah Gragson collected as well.
And a lot of people are talking about that. And Noah Gragson was upset because he's trying to contend for the championship and for points, and he gets taken out like that. What about you, Cam? What do you think?
You know, I mean, first of all, I'd like to say there's been a lot of tensions this year between drivers. Like, we've had a lot more confrontations and more arguing and, and just like, lowballing guys and, shot calling than I have in, a long time. So it's kind of interesting. It kind of spices things up, I thought the Xfinity race was better than the Cup race. I mean, both races I still kind of think were mid. But it was an okay race. I mean, nothing really caught my eyes in my opinion, but there was a couple of good battling, I guess. There's a little bit of battling here and there, but I feel like that's usual for Kansas, and that's just it was an okay race. If I had to rate it, I guess I'd give it like a 5 out of 10. No offense.
Yeah, it was all right. Definitely not my favorite race of the Xfinity Series season. I thought it was kind of meh. Same old players, nothing too eventful besides what happened with Noah Gragson and Sam Mayer. That was just a racing incident. Burton was coming down, Mayer was coming up, and just that's what happens sometimes. At first I thought Mayer dumped Burton, but then I watched it from the alternate angle and he clearly didn't. But Sam Mayer is not really living up to a lot of people's expectations. A lot of people were saying he was the next big thing and then has ended up kind of being a flop. But you can also give him the benefit of the doubt because he's only been racing part-time. So maybe next season he could be better, but as of right now, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, he's wrecked a lot this season, and we've seen it in highlights and just watching it, especially the one of them that makes me laugh for some reason is the Indianapolis Road Course one where he saw the bump and he just wrecked himself to avoid the bump and he put himself in the tire barriers. Like, he's wrecked so much this season. I don't know how many DNFs he has, but if I were to guess, like 8 is car number.
Yeah, Sam just, I mean, honestly, truly, it kind of sucks, man. He's like if anything, he's just been like a crash course. You know, it's like it's been bad for him. And I don't know, like, if he's just been like in this continuous cycle and he doesn't know how to get out. If it's just been his luck this year. I mean, I feel like we still can't brush past what Noah Gregson had either. I mean, Noah Gregson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really. I mean, he started to shape up again, but boy, in the beginning, it was really looking rough.
You know, what was funny is in his infield care center interview, Sam Mayer had hit the wall because he was running too high of a line. I guess he was trying to run the Larson and Reddick line and failed miserably. And he hit the wall again, and you could hear him go, "Up, there he goes again."
Right in the championship, Harrison didn't do anything wrong, but there he goes again.
Yeah, you know, another Xfinity driver that's been wrecking a lot or just been DNF'd a lot, I've mentioned this in other episodes, is Ryan Vargas. So Sam Mayer and Ryan Vargas, they've been the two most drivers I've seen in the wall almost every week.
Jade Buford is too.
It's the TikTok curse.
Jade Buford is too, and he's getting a kind of an alliance with RCR, I believe.
Interesting.
So now let's take a look at what you guys had to say. 2 of you said great. 5 of you said good. 0 of you said man/okay, and none of you said bad. Henry24257 says, didn't see it, but seen highlights, and it looked pretty good. Driver of the day is nobody. I'll give it to Austin Cindric, maybe. Austin Cindric had a pretty good run.
I'm good with Cindric as well.
I would have to give it to Cindric or Ty Gibbs. And if not those two, then Sam Mayer, because he provided the only entertaining thing to happen in that race. Sorry.
Right. So now let's talk about the Cup race.
The Cup race, from what I've seen, there was a lot of tire failures, a lot of tire problems. We saw Ryan Blaney in the wall. There was multiple contenders in this race that had to pit multiple times towards the end because they were having problems or they thought the tire was cut. I've noticed that Denny Hamlin had to make an extra stop at one point, same thing with Truex Jr., and it hurt them in points because now they're trying to be able to get a final spot coming into Martinsville. They need the points to advance. But Kyle Larson, man, he is just on a roll. And I predicted he would win 2 straight races, the Roval in Texas, but 3, I did not see that coming. But y'all did. Y'all actually picked Larson to win. I thought I was going to be like, oh, Alex Bowman's good at a mile and a half tracks. He's won at Chicagoland. Why not go with Bowman? And Bowman ended up finishing 11th, and Larson won. So, yeah, Larson and Hendrick Motorsports right now on fire. They are breaking records. Larson right now with, I would say, the best season in the new millennium. He's won 9 times now, if I'm correct. He's led more laps than Jeff Gordon did in 2001, and it's pretty crazy to see. I did not see this coming, and I've said this before. I did not think Kyle Larson is going to have such a huge season heading into this season because he was on a new team and all that, and he has proved me wrong. And yeah, he's looking like a real threat to win right now. Yeah, it's hard for me to go with I had predicted Truex Jr. win championship, but now I don't know if that's going to happen. I just don't see that happening. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this race kind of showed that, first of all, NASCAR, come on, man, tires, come on now, please, right? But, you know, I also kind of wonder if it's the track itself as well. Because really, I mean, it showed a lot of tire issues. I mean, it's a bit of a concern, honestly. So, you know, I hope they can get that fixed if it's Kansas or if it's the tires. I hope they can figure out what the issue is because it was setting back a lot of playoff contenders, you know, so that kind of sucked for them. Larson has just had the best season I think I've ever seen. And this man has just proved everybody wrong and all the haters wrong. And, you know, if you want to talk about a golden boy, but not as in like what, you know, Chase Elliott is, but as in like an actual golden boy that probably deserves all the stuff he's getting and all the credit he deserves, it's definitely Larson. Larson has showed up, and I feel like he's one of those guys that never disappoints me if I pick him. And if he doesn't make first, he's obviously in the top 5, all the time. So it feels like he's done pretty good, and I don't know who's going to stop him. I think he is going to win the championship this year.
I think. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say that one driver on the brink of missing championship floor right now is Kyle Busch. He struggled in that Kansas race, finishing 28th. And there was one clip I seen on Instagram where Kyle Busch was yelling because he's getting passed by Bubba Wallace, who ended up finishing 14th.
Interesting radio communication just moments ago as these two were racing each other.
Yeah, I said.
Still full 23 in the mid and still 3 wide behind you guys. Still full. Clear. By one.
Great run in 11th, but yeah, that's all bad.
Yeah, that Kyle Busch thing was hilarious. That race was decent. It was better than the Texas race for sure.
Absolutely.
Kansas is definitely my favorite 1.5 mile track. I like that they did. Yeah.
I don't know about that now, but that's your opinion, though.
I didn't know that, Mike. I mean, you could have your favorite tracks. I just didn't think that it was your favorite 1.5 mile track. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just surprised.
Okay. But yeah, I like that there was no PJ1 or resin on the ground. It was the normal surface. That's pretty much it. I mean, it was a pretty good race. I don't really know if it was great. It was a good race. This man literally just looked at me with the creepiest expression on his face. He's like, Mike, what the HE double hockey sticks are you on right now?
Yo, I just want to say this now.
This man.
I'm doing a Mike face. When I say something like really stupid or what Mike thinks is stupid, he makes a face that you guys can't see. I just did that when he said that it was his favorite 1.5. I don't understand what he was saying there, man. But it's whatever. It's good. You do you, Mike. You do you, man. It's all love, brother.
Yeah, I'm just joking with you, man. I mean, to be honest with you, I was quite surprised by when you said that because
I know I was just
one of my least favorite tracks, and it's boring, dude. It's not. They should have 2 races a year.
I don't think 2 races a year, but it's not terrible. It was good last year and the year before.
At least it's not Chicagoland.
Michigan. That's a good track.
Michigan is a good track. I do like that track. But yeah, anyway, it was a good race. Larson dominated, of course. I got my pick right, and he finally got his redemption and paid tribute to Ricky Hendrick, as we know. So
yeah,
that's pretty much it. It's going to be an intense race at Martinsville. We'll get more into that in a little bit later in the episode. But one thing I kind of noticed, Cam, do you kind of see that like weird light in the background?
Yeah, it was above your shoulder. It was a little creepy. I don't know what that was.
Like that was another thing that was really like creeping me out. Is like, you're making this face at me, and then all of a sudden I just see like this like light shining. It was so creepy, dude. I've never seen that before.
I don't know. I mean, it could just
it was like, listen, it was like a white flash, like a white, it was like running by. I don't know if we got that on film, but maybe later we'll have to see that because that was creepy. For sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I got goosebumps, man.
Y'all are trying to make me get scared, aren't y'all? I was just saying. Anyways, yeah. So, what did the people have to say?
Yes, hold on. Sorry, I was just so caught off guard that I had to leave the account for a second. Maybe that's why you made that weird face at me.
Yeah.
2 of you said great. 6 of you said good. 3 of you said meh/okay, and 1 of you said bad. Henry24257 says 550 sucks, can't do nothing in dirty air, but Larson won, so 4 out of 10. He's not wrong.
Good point.
Bubba Love 02 says restarts didn't suck. Yes, they were actually really good. I enjoyed the 3-4 wide restarts, as per usual. Driver of the day, Dirty Air. Larson.
Someone had dirty airs at
Dude, for me, listen, I gotta say Larson is definitely my pick, but I will say coming in at number second's got to be those tires, man. I mean, they were just taking people out left and right. I mean, they were just swerving through everybody. It was great.
I have to agree with you, Cam. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Well, yeah, I'm about to go a little nerdy here, but part of the reason why the tires were going down a lot was because there was apparently high wind at the track. There was a little bit of a sprinkle going on at the track, and then the wind just stuck around for about the first and second stages, and it just kept taking people out, including Truex, Keselowski, Blaney, which was painful. So it seemed like a lot of cars were having problems because of that, and that could be the argument that Goodyear sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tire wars. Maybe. I don't know if that will ever happen again.
I mean, I kind of want to see them change tires. So yeah.
I mean, if Hoosier was still around, bring back Hoosier tires.
Yeah. All right.
No,
So
sound there, but
now let's talk about the new NASCAR game that just released. I believe it released fully yesterday, which was Tuesday, October 27th, and the day we're recording this, or 26th, and the day we're recording this is the 27th. I have not played it. I don't know if you guys have, but from what you guys have seen gameplay wise, what do you guys have to say about it?
I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, to be honest with you. I've heard a lot of good and I've heard a lot of bad. I'm just going to say some examples from my team because I don't really play video games much or NASCAR games much, but that's for another time. But anyways, from one of, like, for example, Lucius, y'all know who Lucius is. Some of the y'all viewers may not know Lucius, but he was saying one thing that he thought was really cool was you could pit your car easier. And with the car, when it comes to the handling assist, I heard that the handling assist was not that good for some people in regarding, depends on your online, if you're online and all that. There's YouTubers like Michael Roots who's seen some crazy glitches with the game.
What the shit? Look at they're all stuck. That 99 ain't moving. Never mind. I got a rhinestone cowboy inside of me. Never thought I'd be saying those words. Was that Reese's Breeses that just drove through like 5 cars?
Where cars would just pile up, and like 20-ton cars will pile up at like Bristol on top of each other and Martinsville. There's some that have enjoyed the game and there's some that haven't. So from what I've seen, it seems better than Heat, though, from what I've seen. But what about you, Cam?
You know, I haven't really seen much of it. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I didn't even know when the release date was. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit slacking here. And I haven't really gotten to see anything on it. Like, I've seen videos, but I was like, I'll kind of wait. They're still trying to publish things. You know, there's still bugs, fixes that they have to do. So I'm not really necessarily going to judge the game. But I have heard there's been some glitches that I've seen that are, like, not necessarily concerning, but I've heard that the game's more of like a silly than it is like a realistic.
Yeah, I did not buy this game. I don't want to buy this game. The physics, it's awful. Like, you can go through the ground, like flip through the ground, and you can see like the track outline. in the air. Cars will appear out of nowhere when you're just driving peacefully, and then all of a sudden you'll see a car right in front of you, and you have no choice but to slam into the back of it. It freezes.
Please get the hell off the front of my car! It crashed my entire Xbox. My Xbox shut off completely.
And overall, it looks really, really bad. I'm not gonna lie, it looks really bad. It looks really unfinished, which is disappointing because this game, it looked really good from the stuff that they were talking about. They implemented a new graphics engine. The graphics looked really good. And they have a lot of features that fans had been asking for years, such as, I know this isn't an official feature, but they didn't patch it. So you can glitch through and drive through the garage and pull into the stalls.
All right, so let's take a look. Yeah, you were definitely supposed to drive through here. Oh, they still come out of here? I didn't know that they actually do this. That's incredible. So the game was absolutely supposed to have the garage area. They just didn't have... Oh, hey, sorry, Denny. And I guess this is like R Factor 2 does this, but... It's... I don't think any other game... When did I get all this damage? I don't think any other game has done that. Has had like an actual garage area. Like, let's look at the 5 here. And there's no humans here. This is fine. I'm okay with this. Hey. Yeah, that's fine. Oops. These things happen. Brad Keselowski did that once. Oh, it's really slippery back here. Look at that. Dude, can you imagine if you actually did this in the practice sessions and didn't put you all wonky at the start finish line?
Yeah, I saw that.
Really, really cool. And that's, like I said, what fans have been asking for years. A more detailed, silly season in career mode, which is great. I've wanted that for a while because I like to play career and I don't like to always play as the same drivers over and over again. So I'm really glad that they implemented that. But the game it looks bad. I was looking forward to buying it, and I don't buy NASCAR games often because I like to save my money. But I was really looking forward to buying this game, and then once I've seen like all this stuff, it disappointed me. I think it disappointed a lot of people. There's still people who are like, oh, give it time. But like what Black Flags Matter Darian said, we've been saying this for a while. People have been saying, give it time. And each year, all these companies have put out disappointing products. I think like the last good game that I've played was probably like NASCAR 14, NASCAR Inside Line, around there.
Yeah. Well, like, honestly, I remember one of the glitches that I did saw that was like, it's kind of funny, but also kind of like really bad, is that a car was like invisible. So they basically ran into the car and it caused them to wreck. And then it finally popped up after the wreck already happened.
That's what I'm saying. Like the car just pops up out of nowhere and you're forced to like pile drive it.
Yep. Because you didn't even know it was there. So, I mean, yeah, I just know that so far isn't good. But hey, you know what? It's still early. They could still have bug fixes. You never know what it could be. So I'm not going to judge it yet.
They are patching it. Apparently, there was one patch. I think it's getting released this week, if not today, which I guess is fixing some of the issues like the steering assist issue.
Yeah.
But just overall, I'm not going to buy it if it's like unfinished. If these patches fix the game and it's like playable, then I'll consider. But right now, there's a lot of glitches that make the game seem like it was unfinished and they had to rush it because they had a contract with NASCAR. And there are some glitches that I'm not a video game developer. I'm not even that good of a guy with computers, but I know that some of these glitches should not be in the game. But I do know that games are not perfect and it is fun to glitch them.
You know,
those are good points. And I will say this, one funny video I've seen from this game was from bro TJ, also known as Laugh Lap. I think he was racing at Daytona and the car literally flew up like 50 something in the air went through a car and did went over the fence, back onto the track, and started flipping 20 times.
I saw that.
You have a good point, Mike, because yes, games are really hard to develop and they take time. And I have to agree with Cam. People should give it more time before just absolutely hating on it and all that. But of course, with how things are, people expect the game to be all good, perfect at first, and it kind of gives me NBA 2K vibes sometimes because with NBA 2K, I know I'm going a little off track, but people are like, "Oh, it looks much better. The graphics look much better. There's not gonna be this many glitches, all that." And then once the game's first released, they have the same problems that they're trying to fix.
Right.
Right. That's true.
Well, I also will say this too. One thing I was just thinking about that's kind of funny to me. What if EA made a NASCAR game? How janky and broken would that be? I just want to know, how many issues would there be?
Broken.
It probably have the wrong faces. It probably look like they've been painted on by some blind painter. And they'd probably have paid to win kind of game. So I mean, at least it's not EA making it. Let's look at the positive side. Or Ronnie 2K's over there cooking it up. Let's go NASCAR right here.
Yeah, Cam, do me a favor. After we're done recording, look up NASCAR 09 on YouTube and just look up how bad that was.
Yeah,
it's basically the same as this.
Well, EA Sports has made NASCAR games before, and they've done a good job. But there's some NASCAR games that I feel have been really, really bad, especially 2009. And I know, Mike, I don't know if you're able to, but you could kind of show the viewers some of the stuff we've been talking about with Ignition, some of the videos we've seen, some of the glitches and just weird stuff. But yeah.
The more reason why I was saying it though is I feel I'm not talking about old EA, because EA actually used to put effort into their games. I'm talking about new EA and how crappy and how money hungry they are. So.
Yeah, that's what I figured you were saying, but I was just that's what I thought. I wasn't quite sure.
All right.
No worries.
So let's get back to on track with more thoughts. We're going to talk about thoughts on the point system. What do you guys? How do you guys feel exactly about the point system? What do you guys think we should improve on?
I think I've talked about this before. I do not like the playoff format because it could, we saw what happened with Harvick last year, where he dominated a lot of that season last year, and he won so many races, led so many laps, and then for it to come down to that. And then we saw what happened with Crafton a couple years ago, where he didn't win a single race and won the championship because of the format. I've been vocal about this before. I do not like the playoff format. Now, I know a lot of people, especially I would say maybe younger fans, would like a playoff system or a chase, but I feel it just depends, because there's some fans that want to go back to the Winston Cup point system days, and then there's some that don't and want a chase or a playoff. I feel there's things that could be improved on. And the thing I know it's not entirely the point system, but one thing that just bugs me has been the qualifying this year. It's just, I miss that. I miss the practices. I miss the qualifying where you could qualify and have the fastest speed. Now it's some type of random system where the guy who won last race automatically gets the pole for the next race. I just don't think that's fair. I don't think it's good. And it's not even random, because I don't even know how they do it, because if it's random, you would see a guy for example, Chris Buescher, say for instance, gets the pole, and then maybe a Quinn Houff gets fifth. That would be a random system. This isn't a random draw. This has to do with the points, or a car owner points. And I don't like that at all. I just wish they'd go back to the way it was.
Christian, I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's some stupid formula of the fastest lap or points, I think, too. It's like all this like weird formula stuff.
Exactly. Even the fans don't really know, and that's just sketchy to me.
Well,
We
to
don't
go
know
into
the
my talk
format,
about it,
the playoff format either.
to go into my talk about it, I will say, I've already said this, but I'll say it again. If NASCAR could just get the message straight. I mean, you look at it early in the season when Hamlin was doing horrible, in my opinion. He was still up. Like, I remember at one time he was still like number one in points. And it's like, how, right? And this is the worst part is that there's a chance that Kyle Larson could get a chance of getting screwed out of the championship this year.
Yes.
With all the effort he's put in and how much blood, sweat, and tears he's done and, all the work he's done, there's a chance that he could get screwed and not get the championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really gotten to the point where, like, you can get a bum, no offense, like Quinn Hoof, we'll just say. Well, I know Half, but, some people know I call him Hoof. You guys can get Quinn Hoof. And, I mean, you look at that, it's like he could get a championship if he just could stay in the running a little bit, and he had a little bit of a better car maybe. But, I mean, it's just so dumb and stupid. It's insane. I mean, listen, I don't think we should go back to Winston Cup times. Personally, I think that's out the way. I don't want that. But go back to what it used to be. Not this new playoff crap. It's just garbage, man. I'm sorry, but it sucks. It's like the whole package of the cars, just everything just sucks, NASCAR. Please fix your stuff, man. I'm begging you.
I've talked about my opinion on the playoff format before on the channel, and as well just talking with other fans on Instagram, like I normally do, and basically how this podcast got started. But I'll say it again for people who haven't seen it. I don't like it that much. Obviously, not that many people really do. I think that it's not really fair to drivers. Yes, drivers who have won in the format have deserved it, whether they would have deserved it if it was an older format or just straight up deserved it because they played the stupid format well enough to where, okay, well, you played it correctly. Congratulations, here's your championship. But there needs to be a better way. And these are some solutions that I have that can fix it. Number one, getting rid of when in you're in. Let's say a guy, like, no disrespect here, but Michael McDowell. Michael McDowell is not a front-running car. He's mainly good on restrictor plates and road courses. That's it. And he wins the Daytona 500 because the two Penske cars wreck and Chase Elliott couldn't get to him in time. And he's in the playoffs and was immediately a first-round exit. I don't want to see that. And number two, there's too many spots in the playoffs too. I do not like that there's 16. NASCAR says, like, they want to get more headlines using the playoff system. But wouldn't headlines come if, let's say, somebody like Denny Hamlin or Kevin Harvick were behind the cut line, like what we saw in the middle of the season before the regular season finale? Harvick and Hamlin were both under the cut line with like 4 races to go and then worked their way back up because of stages and stuff like that. That would be so cool if, let's say, we had 12 spots that Harvick and Hamlin could miss and only one of them could make it in or neither of them would make it in. The two top threats in the sport are out. That's headlines right there. But instead, it's such a gimme. It's so easy to predict. And the only way that a top driver is going to miss it is if they have an absolute terrible cover curse year. So that I've always had a problem with 16. And that's just because of the Spingate stuff, because they wanted to put Jeff Gordon in for some reason.
Yeah, right. Good points.
I also like the eliminations because the old format was kind of confusing where, like, let's say Brad Keselowski would finish ahead of Jimmy Johnson and then Jimmy Johnson gets the championship. Well, it's maybe not that confusing, but to young me it was. But I like the winner take all Final Four. So, like, if we had a format that was similar to the Chase format and also this format where, like, we eliminated drivers from contention that, like, just have no chance, but also had, like, a Final Four race where it's just a winner-take-all race, that would be so sick. I love watching the championship race every year. So, in conclusion, NASCAR, please take my suggestions. I don't think they're that far off. You can still have your little grid and stuff like that. We can have elimination races, but just don't make it so a bunch of guys get screwed over like that.
Right.
Yeah, good points.
So we'll be right back. We gotta cut the recording. And
Yo,
all right, guys, we're back.
I just saw something move behind you, Christian.
Wait.
On the that little brown, like, what is that? Like the black thing over by the Briscoe flag.
Metal dog.
Yeah, it was like right around there, and then it just moved like
I moved a little bit. It was like a nudge. I'll show you my camera, man.
Okay, we need to
swear.
We're recording.
Cam just did a face reveal, y'all.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my god, you're probably right. They haven't seen my face before.
Yeah, you get a Cam face reveal, boys. Some weird.
Listen,
stuff
I promise you
going
guys,
on.
I'm not as fat as it looks on the camera. Okay, I just didn't even show my full face. So you boys won't get a chin reveal yet. That's not happening.
Y'all are trying to get me creeped out or something. I know I did.
No, I'm not, dude. I'm not doing that. Why would I do that?
What was that noise? But
Oh, that was
anyway,
Bradley Beal. My bad.
pause. Oh man, what is this episode turned into? But anyways, okay, so what we already talked about next? Bowman Gray next gen test.
All right, guys, we're back. Christian, you wanted to talk about something with the Bowman Gray test that had happened with Dale Jr., Tony Stewart, and Clint Boyer.
Yeah, so they did the next gen test at Bowman Gray, which is right outside of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Mike sneezing, I can see. Mikey's
Christian, why you gotta bring that up, huh?
Yo, it's like the ghost heard Mike talking. It was like tickled his nose.
I just looked to the right corner of my screen. I see Mike having a sneeze attack, and I couldn't hold it together. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what do you got to say?
Okay, sorry. Back to the topic. So basically, they were having a test of the next generation car, which is supposed to debut next season at Bowman Gray Stadium, and Tony Stewart was there, Clint Boyer was there, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. was there. Basically, they wanted to test at a track that was similar to what they think would be the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Basically, the beginning of the next season, the schedule, they have the race, the exhibition race at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, which will be sort of a track like Bowman Gray, like really small. And I don't know how like we've mentioned this before, we don't know how it's going to work, because what's the track going to be like? How are they going to get all this set up with football games and with track events going on in that track and field events? So it's going to be interesting how they do it. But nevertheless, Bowman Gray, they used to race at Bowman Gray in the NASCAR Cup Series. They still have races there every year with modified series, well, modified series, strictly stock, and all sorts of series. And it's a fun track. I've been there multiple times, and it definitely was a cool spot to have the test at. Now, I think from what I heard and from what Dale Jr. said, they think that the next gen car is really good and that it handles well and it seems fine. Now, my thing is, the thing that bothered me the most about Pictures of Soul was the tires. The single lug nut tires. That's not stock car racing. I'm sorry. It made me mad, and I'm going to have to let y'all know about it. It's ridiculous, all right? This is not Formula One. This is not IndyCar. This is NASCAR. It's just taken away the way pit stops have been since the beginning, and just gone to a single lug nut. Yes, it'll make the stops faster, but it's not stock car racing when you do that. And when I saw that, it made me mad. What about y'all? What do y'all think about that?
I mean, I'm just going to go into the whole thing in general. First of all, like the way NASCAR has done this, they said they were going to announce the next gen was coming out next year. And now it's like everything's changed and they've screwed everything up. They didn't even have testing all the way done, and they didn't test everything. They made themselves look like a fool. They made themselves look so stupid, in my opinion. Then with the lug nut thing, it's one now. There's one. How lazy is that? I don't know. I feel like it's just gonna look really stupid. And yeah, it may make it quicker, but at the same time, it's just it's so stupid. And then the last thing that I have an issue with is the number placement. My God,
Yeah.
NASCAR, how much do you hate your fans? Like, listen, at least listen to us on one thing. One thing. Don't change the number.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before a couple of times about the number placement. It's unfortunate to see. But what about you, Mike?
Well, Christian, I see your point with the single lug nut thing where, it's not stock car racing. You're right. This is not open wheel racing like Formula One and IndyCar. This is NASCAR. We're stock car racing. Personally, I'm not mad about it because I'm open to seeing how it races, and I like the way that it looks on the car. But I do agree with your point that I was very shocked, and I am gonna miss that oh so familiar sound of the pit crew.
Stop. Perfect.
Nice entry to the box. The guys go to work now, changing it up. These changers going to work on the left side first. Different mentality and game plan, trying to pick up time. Jackman Brad John Robinson from New York, waiting to drop the jag in. He's away. Tires.
I am gonna miss that sound, but it will be cool to see the single lug nut. Maybe it can help some of the penalties that have been going on with the lug nuts. So we'll see how it runs. It could be a new era of stock car racing for all we know.
Yeah, for sure. But now we have to move on to the next topic on the show, which is the top 10. This week, my top 10 is the top 10 NASCAR crashes at Martinsville, starting off at number 10. We got Brad Keselowski triggering the big one in the 2014 Goodies Headache Relief 500. Here's the clip.
Brad Keselowski losing spots. Is there a problem on the two? Now he's got problems. Casey Mears into the back of him.
Hold on. Caution.
And more collected.
Lost your transmission for no reason. I haven't missed a shift or anything. Coming at you.
Transmission problems on the two lead to this mess on the front straightaway, and another headline for one of the championship chasers in the final 68 laps here in Martinsville.
So this wreck occurred on lap 437, and it was the 14th caution of the race. Brad Keselowski had some sort of a mechanical issue here, slowing up. The field ended up stacking behind him, and multiple drivers were involved, including Casey Kane, Casey Mears, Danica Patrick got a piece of it as well. And I was actually at this race, and I remember whenever it happened, everyone thought it was at least 10 cars, but from the angle we were at, we were in turn 3. We didn't realize it was less cars than that, but it was actually, they had a lengthy red flag because of it. It was kind of surprising they had a red flag for that wreck, but nevertheless, I thought it served the number 10 spot, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. also won this race. So moving on to number 9.
And at number 9 is Jamie McMurray cutting a tire and crashing hard in 2017. Roll the clip.
Oh, we got smoke coming out of the left rear of the one car. That's going to probably be a cut tire. I think he and the 48 made contact when Jimmy was made contact with the 21.
Can't play around with those left side tires. That left rear, that thing will blow out and you'll spin out.
Now here's how it all started about a lap and a half ago.
Well, McMurray made the wrong choice. He got behind the 83 and couldn't go anywhere, and that's when he got all bottled up. And here comes the 48 and the 21.
Watch the 21 just nicked the 48 right there. That's all it takes. That fender contact, knocking the fender in the left rear of the one. McMurray that's McMurray.
Oh no.
Car one, I mean.
That's not a risk that was worth taking.
Oh no, the center.
This wreck occurred with 25 laps to go in stage 1. McMurray ended up getting a cut tire after a contact from Jimmy Johnson a couple laps prior. Jamie finished last in 38th, and Brad Keselowski would win the STP 500.
In at number 8 is Matt Kenseth getting payback on Joey Logano. Here's the clip.
And Kenseth cleared by Logano. Maybe no. Kenseth takes him out. Logano into the wall. Caution comes out and the crowd roars.
Two things. For one, you just had to give me the Matt Kenseth and Joey Logano thing. You just had to. You're Christian. And for two, I'm shocked that it's not higher on the list. I'm shocked that it's at number 8. But
I put it there because it is a memorable wreck, and it's the most memorable moment at Martinsville. As we talked about early on in the season. I didn't give it to you because you're a Logano fan. I give it to you because what we do with the top 10 list, we kind of base it off of like what some people may know more than others. So, for example, like something that happens in the 90s, I may know a little bit more about it than say Mike or Cam. So I'll talk about what happened in this race, and they'll talk about one they're more familiar with. So that's why you ended up with this one. And I'm sorry if it triggered you. But that was a classic wreck.
I know, it's just ironic I have to give it to me. But yes, at number 8, if you don't know this wreck, you're living under a rock. Kenseth got payback on Logano after being like 100-something laps down after a restart crash. And he was getting payback on Logano for all the times that he made him mad, basically. Starting with a few weeks prior at Kansas where Logano was racing hard, a little too hard with him, and then ended up wrecking him. You can think what you want, whether it's on purpose or not, but it happened. It's in the past.
Yeah.
Then something had happened at Talladega, and Kenseth was frustrated with him and the entire Penske camp, from what it seems like, because he felt like Brad Keselowski wrecked him on purpose, and it led to that. Logano ended up losing his shot at winning a championship, and Kenseth would go on to be suspended for the final 2 races of the season.
Yep. Coming in at number 7 is Clint Bowyer sending it into turn 1, taking out Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, and himself. Roll the tape.
Look at Ryan Newman. He gave Bowyer a shot getting out of the turn 1. There goes Newman. Newman's going to take the lead. That's exactly what I knew would happen.
That was not pretty.
This happened in the 2012 Goodies Fast Relief 500 on a green-white checkered restart. Bowyer got a huge jump on the restart, but tried forcing the issue bringing out the 7th and final caution of the race. This opened the door for Ryan Newman, who would hold off AJ Allmendinger for the victory. Bowyer finished 10th, Jimmy Johnson finished 12th, and Jeff Gordon 14th. If Bowyer hadn't sent it, it was very likely that Hendrick Motorsports would have gotten its 200th win that day. Wow.
Yeah, fact show. And I remember watching this race at my grandparents' house, and I was furious because, I was hoping Hendrick would get their 200th win. And Jimmy Johnson, of course, my favorite driver at the time. And I was just like, when that happened, it just shocked me. And I remember being so angry about it. But moving on to number 6, we got the leaders taking each other out in the 1991 Goodies 500. Roll the clip.
Rusty takes a look. Rusty looks. And they touch. Oh, Gann gets hit hard in the front end by Mark Shepard. Rusty, he spins.
This pileup occurred on a lap 376 restart, bringing out caution number 14. And this race is actually one of my favorite Martinsville races. If you haven't yet, I encourage you to watch it on YouTube. Harry Gant, who had been having a spectacular September, was looking for his 3rd or 4th straight win, actually, that month. And he was in the lead, and then Rusty Wallace gets into him. They wreck, couple cars were involved. Harry Gant came back from that and won the race, got his 4th straight win. And it was he basically won every single race in September that year except for the last one, which was won by Dale Earnhardt at North Wilkesboro. So I thought that was a pretty crazy wreck and deserved number 6 spot. But I also have the number 5 spot on the list, which is staying in the 90s. We got Terry Labonte, Dale Earnhardt Sr., and others piling up on the backstretch in 1995. Here's the video. So the 1995 Haynes 500 at Martinsville got to a crazy start. Pole sitter Bobby Labonte got turned on lap 1, but they didn't throw the caution. So there was a lot of scrambling going around. And a couple laps later, Morgan Shepherd made contact with Dale Earnhardt and Terry Labonte. Labonte's car went up in the air, and multiple cars piled in farther on back. Pretty crazy and interesting looking wreck. Dale Earnhardt would finish 29th, Shepherd 31st, and Terry Labonte DNF'd, finishing last at 36th. Rusty Wallace ended up leading a race high 175 laps and reached the win.
In at number 4 is Casey Kane and Martin Truex Jr.'s wreck at Martinsville in 2011. Here's the clip.
In the wall hard goes Casey Kane and Martin Truex.
Wow, that was huge. Look at that car. And you think we're not going fast here.
Martin's all right. Unhooks his cool tube.
Look at that thing.
What a hit. And Casey Kane is moving around in his car.
Martin went over to check on him.
Daryl, that might be the hardest hit I've ever seen at this small a racetrack.
I tell you, that was amazing. Look at that race car. It is demolished.
You think they're not going fast here? Watch this.
I get a feeling something happened to Martin Truex Jr. in that 56 as hard as he was driving it off in that corner.
Sure does.
I mean, he wasn't even able to slow it down, it didn't look like.
I bet well, it's hard to say about brakes, but that looks like a car that lost its brakes.
So the wreck occurred around lap 221 and was the 6th of 11 yellow flags that day. Truex Jr.'s throttle got stuck, wiping himself and Casey Kane into the turn 3 wall. They finished 39th and 40th. Kevin Harvick would win the race. Edging out Dale Jr.
3. Oh, my bad. And then at number 3, we got a parking lot at the finish of the 2017 first data 500. Here's the clip. And okay, stop it. Christian, you wrote this horribly.
Wait.
It was weirding me out. And then at number 3, we got a parking lot at the finish of the 2017 first data 500. Roll the tape.
Junior into the final turns. Martin Truex Jr. has never won on a short track. As he comes out of 4, it's a drag race. They wreck behind him. Kyle Busch will win.
Yes, sir. Checker.
Big wreck on the front stretch. A parking lot right in front of the grandstands.
And the green, white checkered finish, Kyle Busch passed Denny Hamlin for the lead and held off Martin Truex Jr. However, coming off the final turn, Denny Hamlin got hooked, resulting in that huge pileup across the finish line.
Fact show, and now at the number 2 spot on the list, I have Rick Corelli's violent wreck in the 1995 Goodies 150. Here's the video.
Oh, let's go down. Oh, my goodness. Sprague got involved. Corelli's involved. Bodine is involved, and I'm not sure where that started, but it's definitely ahead of them. Corelli said, I'm okay. I think that was Corelli's voice said, I'm okay, because he pounded that ball hard. There we see Barry Bodine is going to spin. He's going up and hit the wall. Now Corelli's trying to go by, and bam, look at this.
Man.
Oh, man, it almost goes over. And also Sprague is involved, and
Brett
his
Davis.
dad missed him. Jeff Bodine, I believe, is going to be able to stop in time. Let's one more look.
So this was a forgotten crash, and it occurred in the inaugural Truck Series race at the track. Barry Bodine got loose coming off turn 4, hit the front stretch wall, and came back across the track. Rick Corelli had nowhere to go. He ended up going airborne and hitting the pit road wall. Jack Sprague was also involved, and he ended up still recovering from that, finishing 20th, while Corelli and Bodine finished 29th and 30th. Joe Rudman got the victory, and I put this one here at this spot on the list because I don't think many people know about this wreck or have seen it until now, and I thought it was quite spectacular.
And in at number 1, we have Dale Earnhardt Sr. causing the big one on lap 1 of the 1980 Virginia 500. Here's the clip.
Waltrip beats Baker into the first turn, and he cuts inside, cutting off Benny Parsons, who lies third. Out of turn 2, but trouble in the first turn. As Dale Earnhardt and Jim Brooks tangle, J.D. McDuffie rolls to the inside to miss him, and the rest of the field scrambles by. It looks like rush hour on the freeway. As all piled up, there's Harry Gant and James Hilton, who look to have gotten the worst. Let's take a look at how it started. Here's Earnhardt with his left wheel down on the grass. He gets into Richard Petty, turns Petty crossways, then Dick Brooks gets in, and everybody then starts piling into him with nowhere to go. There's Harry Gant's car near the top of your screen. He gets hit from all sides. Gary Labonte, James Hilton.
Was at Martinsville, and I don't know, I started 5th or 6th or 10th or somewhere. Your dad was behind us. Anyhow, we go down the first corner. They throw the green flag. We go down the first corner. I'm turning here. Here comes a car across the grass, lands on my hood. Who is it?
Dale Earnhardt.
So I went over and said, don't let that happen again. I give him one of them finger deals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the first time I remember Dale Earnhardt.
That was a nice way of putting it. Number 1 first lap.
On the inside.
On the inside. And
clean. In the grass.
And there's about, ends up wrecking 10 cars, you know.
At least.
Yeah, bad deal. And, you know, knocks the king out. You
think people take notice?
No. So that's all he got? Because I'd have figured you'd have grabbed him around and put him in the headlock.
No.
Maurice, give him a little bit more than that. Yeah, how did he get away from Dale and Maurice?
So we covered this one earlier in the season in episode 16. Wow, time really flies fast. Dale Sr. dive bombed turn 1, taking out Richard Petty, and around 10 cars piled up in the wreck. However, despite the crash, Petty finished 3rd, while Dale got 13th. And Earnhardt would win his first championship that season. And I believe Richard Petty went on Dale Jr. download, and he just told Dale Sr., don't ever do that again. So
yeah, he did.
He was very mad, and rightfully so.
Yeah, this race is there's not great footage of this wreck. It was 1980 and it was race number 9 of that season. But yeah, Earnhardt just the early signs of being the intimidator, just dive bombs and causes that big wreck. But he actually ended up winning the fall race that year in the 1980 Old Dominion 500. And as you mentioned, he would end up winning his first championship that season. And that concludes this week's top 10.
All right, so now let's get into the picks for this weekend's races. We finally have all 3 together at one track for once. So we're going to start off with the truck race. I'm going to go ahead and say Sheldon Creed, but I think Josh Berry could be a threat to win as well.
Sheldon Creed is a guy I've picked multiple times to win, and he ends up wrecking, so I'm not going to pick Creed. And with short track racing in the truck series, we see a lot of banging, and we've seen a good bit of wrecks over the past couple of years. And it's come down to green, white, checker finishes or overtime finishes, as they would say now. My pick to win this one is going to be Todd Gilliland in the 38. I think Todd Gilliland will get the win. Matt Kraft has been pretty strong here in the past, and he hasn't won a race this season, if I'm correct. So Kraft is right now above the cut line, and if he gets into the championship 4, we may see something crazy happen to where he could win the championship without winning again, which would make most of NASCAR fan base infuriated.
Yeah, I'm going to go JHN.
All right. Moving on to the Xfinity Series. I'm going to go ahead and say Josh Berry wins it.
Well, Josh Berry's actually driving the 31 car in this race for Jordan Anderson Racing, and he won earlier this season at Martinsville. He won for JR Motorsports, Junior Motorsports, also known as that. Ty Gibbs, he's back in the 54 car, so he's a guy that I'm looking at as possibly a contender. Natalie Decker's actually making her 5th start of the season in this race, and I've already seen memes about her causing wrecks, but we'll see what happens in regarding that. However, my pick to win this race, I'm looking at an entry list right now. I want to say Raleigh Herbst wins. I think he'll surprise people and get the dub with the number 98 car.
I got Burton.
All right. And finally, for the Cup Series, I'm going to go ahead and say Denny Hamlin wins it, locking himself into the Final 4. But somebody who could be a threat is Joey Logano. And also for the Xfinity Series, another person who could be a threat is Harrison Burton.
Well, with Martinsville, as I've said this a couple times probably on the podcast, I made my picks to win each of these races before the playoff starts. So I want to say, like, I have to go by that. So my pick before the playoffs started was Mark Truex Jr. to win this race in Martinsville. He did win in the spring, and he's really strong there. Joey Logano, I feel like Logano may be a contender for this, and he needs points to advance.
He's a must-win.
Yeah, basically. And I think Brad Keselowski is going to race himself into the championship 4, but I think Mark Truex Jr. is going to get the win. And I think this race will be pretty, like, chill, laid back at the beginning. And then I think the last half of the race is just going to be insane. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. My prediction, I'm going Joey Logano. I've said this once before, but he's very good at being clutch when he needs to. And he understands when he's in a position that oh no, if I don't win this, I'm out. And It's like, I don't know what he does, but he's got like a pregame thing, man. And he just tells himself over and over again that like he's going to get it done because he's done it before. So, I got Joey Logano, but I will say I have a big guess that there's going to be a big fight at Martinsville. Ooh. I think that there's been a lot of tensions already this season. And I just feel like they're rising and rising. Something's going to happen. I don't know if it's trucks, if it's Xfinity or Cup, but there's going to be a fight. That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, with this race, it's a big weekend for all the series because this is going to be the last race to determine the championship 4 in every series. So I will not be surprised if we do get some tempers flaring.
Yep.
So it's going to be an insane race on Halloween night for the Cup race, and I'm ready for it, man. Me and my friends were planning on hanging out. I'm hoping that that's not in the daytime so I can watch this race. This is going to be an epic race. I wish it was at night, but no. NASCAR has to be lame and started at 2 o'clock.
There's a lot at stake. There's a lot at stake. The grandfather clock. And with Martinsville, we've seen tempers in the past, and we've seen, in 2019, if I'm correct, we saw Denny Hamlin and Joey Logano go at it on pit road. And we've seen drivers in the truck series like Matt Crafton, and we've seen Johnny Sauter go after guys. So, there's a lot on the line. And, this is going to be an interesting weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah. And, to end off this episode, I have a big announcement. Christian, just want to let you know, me and Mike have been pranking you this whole time.
I can't believe you've done this.
¡Ah!
seeing you looking back there like you're horrified of something. You are
He looked
got
back
impressed
like
by
3
man.
times at least, like
Dude.
more than that. He just kept going like
This man kept looking back at that bronze dog thing and like kept looking and looking. He was getting more nervous. I could tell he was uncomfortable too. When he was talking at times, he was getting a little uneasy, man. You know, but all jokes aside, yeah, this is a prank, and you know, this is the first of many, bud.
I can't believe he.
big prank for spooky season. Enjoy your Halloween week.
can't believe
Enjoy
you have
watching some
done this.
NASCAR. Sorry, go ahead.
I can't believe you have done this. Why?
You knew it was. You knew it was a prank. You kept asking me. You guys are trying to scare us.
Oh, like a
The worst
word,
part
but
is though, it wasn't even Mike's idea. It was mine. And I remember the whole reason why I did it too is because when we were on the call, I remember I told Mike, I was like, we got to do something to him. Like he already seems a little freaked out about stuff. I was like, let's just make it more uneasy.
So, sorry, Christian, but we had to do it too. It's spooky season.
Well,
But,
we already
yeah,
have a
with
title
that,
though,
guys,
so that's nice.
With that, guys, that will conclude this weekend's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Enjoy your Halloween weekend watching some NASCAR. We will see you guys in the next episode. Make sure you guys follow our socials. Peace.
Peace.
And subscribe to our sports podcast.